The Denver Broncos have a couple new faces rocketing up the depth chart. We get some great news on injury fronts from a team in the AFC West and another team that we faced early on in the season. We're getting a new player back to this roster who was set to start before his suspension. And we have some Bo Nix updates, that and a ton more in this video. If you're new to the channel, I'm Ben. This is Sports Talk Denver. This is not my typical Denver Broncos man cave. My family and I are finishing a trip to Southern California, and we fly out of LAX at 6 a.m. And so just doing it here. Can't miss a day of news here. So if you like the Denver Broncos, helps me out a ton if you would like and subscribe. Let's dive in first to the fantastic injury news. I know it's never like a good sport, if you will, never cheers on when other people get hurt. But yeah, sometimes when we haven't made the playoffs in a long time, I get really giddy when there's injuries other places. And we know that's going to be a big part. The AFC is loaded. So the more teams that we have to play who have injuries and don't have chances to have chemistry is fantastic. So the big news is that we remember last year the Denver Broncos cut Justin Herbert's season short. After we swept the Chargers, we injured his hand. I think we broke one of his fingers or something like that. Well, now he is dealing with plantar fasciitis and is going to miss a substantial amount of time. He's going to be in a walking boot for several weeks, which, yeah, really is not what you want. Here's some of the details on that. 2 weeks in a walking boot, which will take him through like the whole preseason, right? But they expect him to be ready to go for week one. I think this is great news for the Denver Broncos because the Chargers coming out to a less than stellar start would be awesome for us. We know that Harbaugh needs to implement this new system, and it's going to be a totally new offense for that entire team. And so for them to miss out on the rest of the preseason without their starting quarterback is fantastic news for us. And I know that sounds really petty, but I'm just being honest because I always am. Other great news, which is going to come as kind of sad news for all those people who think we're only going to win 4 games, because there is a very realistic chance that the Seattle Seahawks will be starting the season without their starting quarterback in Geno Smith. I feel like this is a win for us no matter what, whether Geno Smith is playing or not, but his backup is Sam Howell. And we just know that, he's been messing around. Again, the Seattle Seahawks are starting a brand new system as well with that new coach coming over from Baltimore. So that's just also fantastic news, is that our week one opponent at the very best will have a starting quarterback again who missed most of the preseason this year with hip and knee issues. So you got the double doink right there, and that's just fantastic news for the Denver Broncos on the injury front. But let's get to not just celebrating other teams' injuries. We also had a key injury with our first player carted off the field. Thoughts and prayers to Quinn Bailey. Sean Payton just talked all about him and what a great player he was. He was going to be really our swing offensive lineman. And so while it's great news that we didn't lose a starter, we had a lot of health last year. We need that to continue. He was rushed from practice to an ambulance, and that's just never a good thing. The good news in that is that we got Throckmorton and Mustafar and Frank Crum, and that's a really deep position right now, and I trust all of our starters, but Sean Payton really said that he was the swing offensive lineman there and was going to see some time. He also at times last year in goal line packages was a blocking tight end, and so you could see that end up being kind of an issue. But let's get into the great news here on our team. Great news is that we're through another week of padded practices without any major injuries to starters. And we see some players who are absolutely popping. So the first player who everyone is just saying who is just jumping off of the field to them, you're hearing fans say that from the hill. If you're on that green hill right now, hit me up and tell me, are you seeing this as well? And that is that Josh Reynolds is him. I have thought Josh Reynolds could be the perfect Sean Payton type receiver. No drama. He can run those inside routes, and that's what we've seen him shine in those. Come down with a bunch of 50-50 balls, beat guys like Surtain, and just seeing him step into this, knowing that he chose the Denver Broncos over re-signing with the Detroit Lions. There was an offer on the table. He believed in Sean Payton, wanted to come here, and he raves about Bo Nix.
He's got some zip on it, but he also can throw some touch on it too. So, he's versatile. His arms are very, very versatile, and I think he can make a lot of the throws that coaches are asking for.
So hearing him come out and just say Bo Nix, arm strength, all the stuff we heard going into the combine that Bo Nix doesn't have the arm strength to be a starting quarterback, all of those rumors are just going by the wayside as we're seeing it at camp. Just deep lobs, the video we showed a couple days ago of just the beautiful pass to Tim Patrick. Bo Nix has the zip, he has the touch, and he has a stud receiver in Cortland Sutton, who we know has played for 9 different quarterbacks and is going to be able to come down with jump balls. If we have him as the Josh Reynolds as our wide receiver 2, and we have Marvin Mims, who can be that speedster in the flat and play those kind of roles, like watch out. And the other player who's jumping up charts and everyone is talking about, here's the article there about Josh Reynolds here, just saying that he could be the steal of all free agency, that he chose us, and that's fantastic news. And then again, here's what we're seeing is that Troy Franklin is getting very, very hard coaching because the coaches are seeing potential in him. One of the worst things that you can hear about a player is that coaches stop talking to him, because that means they've given up on him. And you're hearing our wide receiver coach really lay into him, because I think he sees the potential here. You've seen plays where he's gotten one over on Pat Surtain, and just watching the focus here and him coming down with this in the end zone, amazing. Shout out Tyler Ruffel for this video here, but watch this, boom, juggled and still caught right there in the end zone. Just makes your heart sing right there. Go up and get it. So man, if he has the chemistry that has been rumored with Bo Nix, and we have him, that's incredible. Another player here just raving about Bo Nix is PJ Locke. Very high on PJ Locke. He is the type of player you want leading that safety room, and I know we've had some injury concerns at safety, but PJ Locke is one of those bricks that you want to build that back half of your defense along. And hearing him now talk about what makes Bo Nix special, and we'll watch it in just a second here, but here's what PJ Locke had to say about Bo Nix.
Well, right now, man, what I noticed from Bo is he's a good look-off guy. He's really good looking off. Even in OTAs, I was like, man, I just cannot get a beat off of him, because most time rookie quarterbacks, like, you know, their first read, they're gonna look at it, and he'll look you off real quick. And you know, I think he studies the safeties, and he can tell, like, we're like super instinctive, and we try to play games with him, so he try to play games back. So that's what I noticed off rip, and he can throw the field.
So we're hearing the receiver say he's got zip on the ball, he can make all the throws, and then you're hearing our starting safety say, hey, this rookie who's only had a couple of snaps each practice is already able to look us off, to call blitzers, to play games back with us, and that's just something that rookies should not be able to step in and do, and Bo Nix is doing that, and we're going to watch that. Watch him exactly read the defense, read the blitz coming here as we're backed up. This was kind of my nightmare situation, to be in this position when your foot is on the goal line with Russell Wilson. I was always worried about this. Watch Bo Nix here. See PJ Locke, know that PJ Locke is coming on the blitz, make the call for the defensive or the offensive tackle to swing out and pick up the blitz. He steps into the pocket. He doesn't roll back into the sack. Instead, he steps up and hits Dulcich on this, and this is just this made me just almost tear up on my family vacation. Check this out. So here's Bo right back here. Got PJ Locke kind of hiding here. He's starting to come. He's called it. He saw that coming. Look, he steps into it and finds Dulcich for the first down. So, I mean, this is just a fantastic day of news here for the Denver Broncos as we see Bo Nix. Other thing that we're hearing out of training camp is that Bo Nix has wheels on him. We remember Jordan Palmer put out a podcast a couple of weeks ago where he worked out Bo Nix and talked about that when Bo Nix was at Auburn, he was one of the fastest guys on the entire team, full of SEC players, at a 10-yard sprint. And we're seeing that here with designed rollouts. And could we even see Bo Nix as a running quarterback? He's not Josh Allen, obviously, but could we see him used in that way? I think we're going to see him used in that way. Either way, it is a great time to be a Denver Broncos fan. Thank you for watching, and I wish I had my hoop to just sink it, but we believe. Back in the man cave tomorrow.